Raise your hand if you've deleted the dating apps. I reached a point today where I'm done. I'm just officially done. I don't ever want to swipe again in my life. I don't ever want to have the stupidest conversations in my life. I am good, and I'm just going to focus on meeting people in the wild, like the good old days, right? I've seen actually so many women on this app especially talk about how like they're done with the dating apps and they're going to try just like putting themselves out there and opening themselves up to meeting people in person. And I do feel like we need to get back to that. And a lot of what's on the dating apps is trash, but I also have to take accountability because I don't really like who I am on the dating apps either. Really, in any of like my past relationships or where I've like seriously dated somebody, and if you're one of those people and you're watching this, I'm sorry, I might offend you right now, but I wasn't like initially super attracted to them. It was as we got talking and I got to like feel their energy and get to know their personality, where that attraction, I'm like, oh, okay, I like you. And I just feel like that is so impossible to do on the dating apps, and I'm just over it. I'm like, here's to meeting people in the wild.
Okay, do you want to know when I knew it was time to get off Hinge? It was when it occurred to me that I was watching these men grow up. Okay? You know when you see the same guys over and over again for years? I was on the app a few times. I saw a guy and I thought he was like a new guy. I'm like, oh, he's kind of cute. And then I'd scroll and then recognize a familiar photo and be like, no, that's Jacob from 2023. Jacob, what are you still doing here? Also, what am I still doing here? And that's when I was like, I think it's time to go.
I'm done with dating apps and I'm more done with clubs and bars expecting to meet a level-headed guy. Girlies, go to run clubs, join book clubs, I don't know, for all I care. Find a hobby that you like and try to find a club or a community that associates around it. I went to my first run by myself on Valentine's Day because I was like, you know what? These people can eat chocolate and get fat. I'm gonna go on a run. You gotta have that mindset. Just go, okay? You never know what's gonna happen. If I can do it, you can do it. So go to that run club. It is currently 5:40 p.m. and I'm drinking this ginseng water because I cannot drink caffeine at this hour before a run. So I still want to stay healthy, super good and carbonated, and ready for this run.
Okay, so yesterday I go to delete Hinge, right? Because I'm like, I'm over it. I'm done with Hinge, I'm done with dating, and I'm done being discouraged because I'm so sorry everyone is atrociously ugly. No offense. So I go to delete the app and then it tells me, wait, are you sure you want to delete or do you just want to like refresh your feed? So essentially it like gets rid of the algorithm of everybody it thinks that I would like. So I hit yes, my feed refreshes, and suddenly I'm seeing the hottest guys I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I literally ran out of likes on Hinge within 5 minutes. Usually I like one guy every 200, and this was like, heart. Everyone who was sitting in my roses section was suddenly just like in my feed. So I don't know if everyone knew about this, but if you didn't, give it a try and let me know what you think.
I know like never say never, but I never want to make a Hinge profile again in my life. Like not just Hinge, like any dating app, dating site. I don't want to do that. I'm leaving that energy behind in 2024. I think it's a humiliation ritual at this point. I am just sick of like endlessly scrolling, finding mediocre matches, half-ass conversations that don't really go anywhere. And the one thing that I've really found dating apps to be toxic for, especially like me as a woman, is you start seeking validation from external people. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to give my energy to that. If you are trying to genuinely meet someone, build a meaningful connection, go to the places where you just like light up, like things that you like to do. For example, like workout classes, coffee shops, networking event. You meet the people that are right for you when you're doing things that you love because you find them to be in those same spaces. If you see me on a dating app in 2025, like I give you permission to report my account because that was me. That wasn't me.
I have been off of the dating apps best 7 months of my life. I was just over it. If I'm not full throttle, I don't think it's gonna work for me. It does work for some people. I found that so many of the guys that I was meeting were just like a little bit more reserved and shy. Maybe that was just my luck. I want somebody who will come up to me in the wild and like be in the same spaces as me naturally. And I realized like they are addicting. Maybe this was just me. It just became part of the rotation of apps that I would check every day and like frequently, I would wake up and like see who liked me. It became this weird validation thing, and you just match with so many people and sometimes not even talk to any of them. What are we doing here? I find myself thinking and like hyper fixating on like dating more and like finding my person more, which is never a healthy way to date. I trust it's just gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. I'm enjoying being single more because I feel like the apps have a way of putting what you don't have in the forefront. You really hyperfixate on the fact that you're single. I'm not matching with anybody good. I'm not finding anybody good. I'm going on all these bad dates. And then like, suddenly all that you're thinking about is how you're single and nobody's out there. Because I'm not on the apps anymore, I'm not having this like limited negative narrative in my brain anymore about dating and men. I'm like, oh, he's out there. Like he's probably just fucking some other bitch right now. Like, just have such a healthier and happier mindset about it all. More hopeful than ever. Which is funny because it's almost like I've taken myself off the market a little bit. I'm just excited to see who's presented in front of me, and like I'm putting out the energy that I'm open to people coming into my life, and it's working. If you like the dating apps and they're working for you, 100% use them. Don't feel pressure to use them if you don't want to use them.
So I've decided I'm gonna delete all my dating apps, and here's why. I've been traveling for the last week. I was in LA by myself for 4 days, and I've been in Vegas now for a work conference. And when you travel alone, it makes you, like, it forces you to be extra outgoing and like go and make friends and go and meet new people. And some of these people I've met on this trip in the last 7 or 8 days specifically are people that I would never have swiped right on any dating app. Like they were just people that might not have been my type, or people that I just, you know, just looking at them, I don't get good vibes from. Well, let me just tell you that I've met some of these people, not people that I didn't swipe right on, just people that I wouldn't have swiped right on. And some of them have been amazing, literally amazing people. And like, I know it's not gonna go anywhere, I know it's not gonna do anything, but just the idea of me swiping left on people because I don't like their vibe or they're not my type or whatever, but then you can meet people in real life and they are completely different and they're so amazing, and like, again, nothing's happening, but I've just made some amazing new friends that I would have normally never have made. And you don't go on dating apps to make friends necessarily. You go on there to potentially meet like a future partner or whatever. But I feel like sometimes making friends is equally as important as meeting your potential partner. I don't know if I'm really making any sense at this point, but yeah, that's why I'm gonna delete dating apps, because I'm swiping left on majority of people just because I'm insanely picky. Meanwhile, I can be meeting some amazing people. So I'm just gonna keep traveling alone, going to random places, sitting at the bar by myself, ordering dinner, ordering drinks, and I'm gonna make a hell of a lot of new friends. And yeah, maybe that's how I'll eat the love of my life. I don't know.
I said I was done on the dating apps, and I thought I was, and then I got sad and I re-downloaded them. And now I'm going to tell you a story that is causing me to delete them again because I've come to my senses. So I matched with somebody, we were talking for a few days. It was fine, it was cool. One of the few people where I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. And yesterday, he asked me if I had plans on Friday night. And I said yes, because I do. And I said, well, how about Saturday? I'm off on Saturday. And he said that we had opposite schedules and he has plans on Saturday night. And I said, okay, what about Sunday? And he responded something along the lines of like, you know, I might be free Sunday night. Or like, there's a possibility I'll be free Sunday night. And I thought about it. And finally, I sent a message back that I thought was very cordial and kind of like no pressure. But I sent one back saying, okay, well, I like concrete plans. So why don't you let me know when you're free and we will see if the timing aligns, Sunday or afterwards. I thought that was fine because I'm not a last minute plans girly, and I need to know that something's happening. I'm not going to keep my Sunday night open for a tentative plan, and I don't expect you to do that either. So either you're free or you're not, we're doing something or we're not. Easy. And I woke up this morning and I had been unmatched. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Today I deleted the final dating app that was on my phone, and I would like to tell you why. I live in Dallas, Texas. I am 33 years old. I've been single for about 3 years now, and it wasn't until about 3 to 5 months ago that I truly let myself try again. And in doing so, I challenged myself to be on these apps for at least 3 months. Give it 3 months. Try to actively be on there. Pay for premium versions of it if you have to. So I had Hinge, I had Tinder, and nothing really came of it. I'd chat with some people, but it would really go nowhere. I was not feeling any connection. And today I decided I'm getting nothing out of this. If anything, it's actually making me embarrassed when it shouldn't, right? Because we are all allowed to find somebody, our counterpart, but I have not been on a date in quite some time. And being on these apps here in Dallas, Texas, gay dating, it's very hard. And I just don't feel like I fit in with what is wanted here. And of course, everyone has preferences. I am not anything unique. I have my preferences as well, like what I feel is my ideal type, etc. But I still have this feeling in the back of my mind that my person isn't here. So I deleted the app, thinking, what am I doing on there? I'm not happy being on there. I'm not talking to anybody. What value does it bring me? So I guess all that to say, I'm going to challenge myself to potentially meet somebody out in the wild or not.
I think across the board, everybody should delete their dating apps, and here's my reasons why. First and foremost, I don't care what society says, it is not normal to date multiple people. It is not normal to have like a repertoire of people that you can communicate with at all times and that you're trying to date and get to know at all times is not normal. When our parents were dating, you sought one person. You got to know that person and you saw if that person was for you or not. You weren't dating 15 different people or talking to 15 different people. It leaves too many opportunities and too many options available. Which leads into my next point, the validation purpose. Now, obviously, I don't think everybody on dating apps is doing it for validation purposes, but a lot of the times I think it just happens to fall into validating us. How many times have you looked on a dating app, replied to somebody, and you're just sitting in the DMs forever? Nobody ever replies, or they take like a week to reply. Truthfully, I think it's because on the opposite end, somebody is just getting like a validation hit from opening up the app and seeing how many people like them. They don't actually really want to communicate with somebody. Even if they think that they want to date somebody, I think a lot of the times it's really just to validate us and blow up our egos and make us think like, oh my gosh, all these people like me. Which then leads into my next point. It's a distraction. Our phones are already such a distraction to us. To have another app on there is another distraction. So when people say like, where am I supposed to meet somebody? We have to understand that there's so many places that we go to in a day. Except if you're somebody who works at home, never leaves your house, ever. But we go to gyms, we go to the grocery store, we go to work, we go to events, we go out. Like, we definitely go places where there's opportunities to meet people, but we're so distracted by our phones. I mean, I even do this. I'm walking in somewhere just staring at my phone. If we got off our phones for a second and started to smile at people and really try to engage in a conversation, how many more people could we talk to? How many more opportunities could be presented to us if we weren't just so distracted by our phone? Which leads to my last point, reverting back to the hunt. I think it's so easy for men now to just jump on an app and just look for women that way. Now, don't get me wrong, I say this all the time. I'm sure it is so intimidating for a man to walk up to a woman, which is why I'm somebody, if I think somebody's attractive, I'm going to open up the door. I'm going to compliment you. I'm going to say something. I'm going to try to engage in a conversation so that if you're interested and I'm interested, maybe we can exchange social media numbers, something there. But I think we've just made it so easy to just jump on our phones and look for people that it's become even more intimidating to have that conversation in person. So let's all just make a conscious decision to boycott dating apps and try it the old-fashioned way and just really meeting people in person, and let's see what happens.
Recently deleted my Hinge and I don't think I'm ever going back. I've seen so many other women saying that they also deleted the app. Dating apps are no longer for dating. Men have just turned dating apps into like an easier way to access convenient sex. In love, we are kind of meant to be found. We're not meant to be actively trying to find love. It's just supposed to be something you stumble into. I don't understand how men got onto dating apps and were like, oh yeah, this is not going to be for dating. I literally was talking to a guy for a month. I was seeing him almost every single week, got me a Valentine's Day gift, all this stuff. Woke up one day and was like, I cannot be in a romantic relationship. Why were you on Hinge? I literally matched with another guy and he's like, oh, what are you on here for? Usually when they ask you what are you on here for, they're either because they actually seriously do want a girlfriend, which is like very never, or because they're trying to see if you want to hook up. So I was like, you know what, let me give this guy like the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, oh, I'm on here trying to find my husband that I could run around the playground with at 2 a.m., being kiki. This guy goes, something similar. I'm also trying to find people to hang out with late at night. I said, hang out with late at night? What do you mean? He goes, what's wrong with that? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, I'm trying to find people to hang out with late at night or early mornings. I said, baby, you're looking for a prostitute. That's what you're on this dating app for? A lot of the components of dating apps are just so superficial because I genuinely am such a surface level person on first match. You don't hit everything, all those points, I'm not gonna like you. Most of the men I've ever dated were from dating apps and they were the worst ones, but they were the most beautiful ones. But the guys that I met, like either through mutuals or in regular life, they weren't as attractive, but they were so much better. I feel like we get on dating apps because we feel this idea of like scarcity, so hard to find people. I was definitely like that too because I had this whole idea like, fuck, how am I ever gonna find someone? There was a time people dated before dating apps. I think if we all put our fucking foot down and we get off the dating apps, men are gonna go back to talking to women in public because they don't do it anymore because it's just so much easier to go on an app and swipe. I really feel like when you get out of the mindset of allowing men to like behave mediocrely with you, when you get out of that, you'll realize that it's almost impossible for someone to come with like the pressure right off a dating app because they've never had a conversation with you in person. They don't know who you are. How can I expect you to like want to plan an amazing date for me and the only thing you have to go off of is 4 prompts and some photos of me? When somebody meets you in person, there's more of that initial connection, so they're more likely to be a bit more emotionally involved with you. So this is your sign. Get off the apps, go find your man at Erewhon, the gym, something. Anyways, I'm going to Pilates so that I can get my body right and tight.
Fellas, get off the dating apps. Get off the dating apps if you want any good results here. Just get off the dating apps. They don't even like y'all on dating apps. They can't stand you guys on dating apps. They complain so much about how bad the dating apps are for them. Leave the dating apps. Just leave. They look for the red flags immediately. They'll screenshot y'all and send it to the best friends. They're doing TikToks of y'all. It's embarrassing for y'all out here. They swipe on 7 out of 100 of y'all. That's how much they don't like you. Get off the dating apps. Save yourself a shit ton of time, stress, and everything else. And get up out here in the wild and go after what you're interested in. Focus on yourself, but develop your interpersonal skills. Get up out in the wild and start going after what you're interested in. Don't let them gamify you anymore because they're sick of you guys on dating apps. I'm telling you, they complain about you the most. How bad it is out here. Get off. If you have self-respect, you need to get off the dating apps. Don't be sending roses and hearts. They can't stand you more when you send roses and hearts. They get sick. They're like, ugh, he sent me a rose, girl. Yuck. Oh, you think I'm playing? Ask the girls when they get sent the roses. They don't even look at them. It's almost pathetic to them. It's like, yeah, he sent me a rose. They have overwhelming numbers and options on dating apps, and you don't get it. You ain't doing it. You're not having any success on dating apps because you're on dating apps. Get out in the wild. I'm telling you, I promise, this is going to save you. Your life will be so much better if you just hop your ass off.
I have never been in a relationship, and I also just deleted all my dating apps. A month and a half ago, I was on here. We were trying to perfect my Hinge, so I'm so sorry, guys. Please don't be mad at me. I have been consistently on the dating apps since 2013 when Tinder was big. Obviously, I've never had a boyfriend, so I have never had a reason to fully delete them off my phone. Gone in phases where sometimes I am using them more, sometimes I'm using them less. I have found myself being extremely discouraged lately. I moved to Nashville a year and a half ago. I have not found one man to go on a date with in this huge city. It feels discouraging when I see people around me, even people on the internet, getting on the dating apps and they're at least able to go on dates. I'm not saying the dates are like working out and the people are like falling in love, but it feels discouraging that I can't even get to that point. When you get on the apps and you get messages like this and this over and over and over, I'm tired, grandpa. I've noticed recently I've just been developing such a negative mindset when it comes to dating, or like me feeling like I'm really gonna meet someone. Almost been like reassuring these insecurities that like, yeah, like I'm a bigger girl, like this is all guys want from me. I'm the girl you want to have fun with, not the girl that you want to take out in public, take on a date. Fact of the matter is, it is harder to date when you are a bigger girl. Obviously, you can find love. There is love for everybody, but it's harder, and I just like need a break from it being so hard. I feel like me starting to have a negative mindset kind of like manifest things around you. I do think like your energy, and my energy is just so negative on it right now. So I'm simply just doing